This is the Comrade Show.
Yes, my people, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, depending on where you are joining us from. This is the Comrade Show, and it's Matters Arising. My name is Comrade Lamte Oriaki, as always. I want to thank you for wherever you are joining us from. I see you. Yes, my friends are coming on. Yes, let's keep coming. Let's get some numbers together, please. If you are joining the Comrade Show, just share. We've got some matters arising to talk about. Please, let's share. Let's keep sharing. Yes, my people, God bless you all. Let's keep sharing. Thank you so much for joining. We're not going to take too much of our time today. We're going to try to look at some matters affecting us because they say what affects the eyes affect the nose. And at the stage we are right now in the Nigerian state, things are no longer sustainable. And of course, we have to speak to these things. We have to emancipate ourselves, and we have to forge and push for a new and a better Nigeria. Because the Nigeria we have today is a Nigeria that is on the brink, a Nigeria that is sinking, a Nigeria that can no longer guarantee sustainability in any way, shape, or form. And many of us are concerned. Yes, I see you, my friends. Please, if you are joining the Comrade Show, please share the broadcast. Let's keep sharing. Let's keep the numbers to get some numbers together. Yes, please keep share the broadcast, share the broadcast. Today, we're going to talk about some very troubling, situations around our country because of the data coming out. And of course, we are concerned. We are concerned because this is one country where we have seen things go up and they don't come down. What we have is frightening, to be very honest, and it's not sustainable. And there are those paying deaf ears to it. There are those who are celebrating it. There are those who have kept on enjoying the process. And we are saying enough is enough. We must take the bull by the horns. We, the people of Nigeria. Yes, my people, greetings to you all. Thank you very much for joining. Please keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. Let's get the numbers together. Well, let's zero down to the matter at hand. First and foremost, I want to, in recent time, within the last 1 week or so, I have been inundated with calls. I've been receiving lots of messages from friends, from people who follow the Comrade Show, from a lot of people across the world and all of that. Of course, people are complaining, man, your name is being mentioned at some quarters. I want to appeal to you all, like I've told those who call me privately. Comrade Lamte Oriaki is not one person who responds, to things, as such, like that. The program we run, the Comrade Show is a program that we use to talk about national issues, but most especially to look at, the indices of progress in Edo State, and of course find ways, that we can galvanize and, contribute to the growth and development of Edo State. So these are the only things that I think that I would say. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the position I hold as a person and all of that. Let's love each other. Let's not hate each other too much. Let's find space, within all of the pandemonium. You understand what I'm saying? To chase after some sort of unity, and all of that. Because Edo State and Edo people must find, that nucleus, where even though passion strains, we understand that there's a bigger picture that we must protect as far as Edo State is concerned. And this bigger picture today is a picture that is actually, surrounding, the governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki, who is doing a lot, and as it were. And the least we can do is to support him. And there are different ways of, providing that support. And some of them is just to speak to the peace and development of Edo State, on a regular basis and all of that. So, and that is what we'll continue to do, because for the first time in many of our lives, we find that, avenue to do that. You understand what I'm saying? And we find a government in Edo State that is willing to walk the walk and make our state a better place. Well, my people, Going beyond Edo State, I want to talk about Nigeria. Some of us may not be aware, just very recently, in the past 1 week, 1.5 weeks or so, the South governors, okay, heeding to the demands of the Southerners, to all of us, had a meeting with the delegation of the federal government, okay? The first one was bust because the federal government disappointed. They had a meeting and they conveyed our message, our collective message to the federal government of Nigeria, which I think is the right thing to do. And the major message was that we, the South people, want restructuring of the Nigerian states. We, the South people, want the regions or the states to take control of their resources. We, the South people, want to see that we have our own security architecture. We, the South people, demand that the policing of the Nigerian state should no longer be a matter of the exclusive legislative list alone. We, the South people, are saying, let us practice the true federalism as it is being practiced in the places we have copied it from. These are legitimate demands. Today, the federal government of Nigeria has not responded to that. But that is one part of it. Today, I am speaking to our people, all of us, because one of the problems we have as a people, most of us, is that we do not know what the time is. I am going to do my best in the course of this broadcast to tell us what the time is, some of us. Now, if you are not aware, the exchange rate between the dollar and the naira right now has crossed 500 naira to a dollar. Pound sterling is chasing 700 naira to 1 pound sterling. Now, the economy of Nigeria right now is in shambles. Nigeria today is owing more than 100 billion naira, as a matter of fact, or nearly so. Now, what we are saying today, economically, Nigeria is finished. Economically, Nigeria, as a matter of fact, is in coma. Economically, Nigeria is dead, waiting for the possibility of somebody coming to wake her up. Economically, Nigeria is finished. Now, when you leave the economy of the state, you now go to security. But people, in Bauchi, just a couple of days ago, more than 40 farmers were slaughtered by the Boko Haram terrorist group. And yet, the monies that this government, led by Muhammadu Buhari, has expended on security is alarming. This government has borrowed billions to say we want to secure Nigeria. This government has spent so much on security, but the question is, what are they spending the money for? How are they spending this money? Yet, the Nigerian state today, part of it is still ceded to homegrown terrorists, Boko Haram. This is troubling. This is hugely, hugely troubling. Today, the lives of the Nigerian people don't matter. It don't matter. That is why the Nigerian government can afford to empower the military to go and open fire on harmless protesters. Harmless protesters. Protesters who held the flag of the Nigerian state. They were shot at and many were killed. Today, they are chasing shadows. As in the course of this matter, what's it called, China's television and some other local news media, they carry this information, they cover this information. They were sanctioned by the Nigerian government. They were fined by the Nigerian government. CNN came with a documentary, a reputable, global news network, spoke about the atrocities committed by the Nigerian government on the Nigerian people, with evidence. Today, the Nigerian government is chasing shadows, saying they want to sanction CNN. Do you have the pedigree or the local standard to sanction CNN? They've come out with proof, with evidence. Where are you going to take them to? You have continued to lie to the people. You have continued consistently to lie to the people. Now I tell you, my people, any government that has the propensity to do what this government has done to the Nigerian people, my people will know the answer. I am speaking for us to know what time we are as a people, because even the Bible itself, I mean, this is one verse of the Bible I love so much. The Bible spoke about time, and one of the problems we consistently have as a people is because we do not understand what the time is. And the Bible says, he said, the children of Issachar, they knew the time and they knew what Israel ought to do. Do we know the time? Do we realize that Nigeria right now is a sinking ship? Do we realize that Nigeria right now is drowning? Do we realize that Nigeria right now that we call our state, the Nigeria we call our state right now is in coma? Do we realize that? We may not realize that because some of us, we probably are still able to afford our daily bread, because some of us, we are probably still able to get around. But the time is coming, if we do not curtail what is happening right now in the Nigerian state, it may come to a time where neighbors, we ambush neighbors and kill them for food. It would come to that time where people can no longer afford to have anything to eat. They will ambush their neighbors and slaughter them and cook them and preserve them for food. That is the time we are. I am speaking to time because right now, this minute, the country we call our own has been taken over by political terrorists, has been taken over by how do I call them? By political gangsters. People who are very calculative, who are collected, who know what they are doing. They are not ignorant. And I've seen that the government of the Nigerian state, they are not ignorant. Earlier this year, the government led by President Muhammadu Buhari approved the sum of 30 billion to construct a road between Nigeria and the Niger Republic. Earlier this year, this same government has signed a contract with Niger to be buying a refined oil product from Niger and selling to Nigerians. This same government is already planning and laying structures to lay railway between Nigeria and Niger Republic. This same government knows that we don't have roads in Nigeria. Our roads are killing Nigerian people. We don't have, our transport system is in shambles. And yet, so much emphasis, so much investment in the Niger state. Now, many of us don't understand why Niger, this same government has closed borders to other African nations and has opened a border to Niger. So what is happening here? Is our president from Niger Republic? This is a fundamental question. This is a fundamental question. Is our president from Niger Republic? We have in the South 4 refineries in this country. None of these refineries can even produce a liter of refined crude oil. None. And yet we have hundreds and thousands of people working in these refineries that are being paid on a monthly basis. What you get every now and again is missing 12 billion, missing 5 billion, missing 10 billion, missing $8 billion that cannot be accounted for. And yet, this is happening under the watch of President Muhammadu Buhari. And yet we are there. It is like business as usual. My people, it shouldn't be business as usual. Buhari has borrowed life out of Nigeria. We are borrowing. We are not committing our borrowing into usefulness. We are committing them into embezzlement. We are committing them into retrogression. We are buried in the Nigerian state. And they know what they are doing, because they know that when they finish with the Nigerian state, they will leave for the rest of us to wallow in this wickedness. For the rest of us to wallow in this state that we cannot bear. A bag of rice is already selling for 40,000 and more. Christmas is around the corner. The high cost of living is killing us. We are not getting the money, and yet things are so expensive. This government, we have the effrontery to come out and tell Nigerians that, you know, a crude oil is 168 naira in Saudi Arabia, and it does not make sense for Nigeria to be selling less. I'm talking of petroleum pump price. That is the height of insensitivity. In a country where the minimum wage is 30,000 naira. In a country where the youth unemployment level is more than 60%. In a country where we have more than 60% of our children not going to school, either as dropout or not having attended school at all. In a country where the budget for health ministry is nothing to write home about. In a country where there is no emphasis on education, where lecturers, ASU, you know, can be on strike for a year, for months, for weeks on end, without the concern of the government. In a country where security can deteriorate so much that not even a service chief can be changed to see whether things will change. My people, this is the time we are. This is the time we are as a nation. Now, when we see this, some of us wonder. We ask ourselves, presently, I am trying to have a conversation with the leader of the pro-Biafra group, the Easterners, the IPOB, Chief Kanu. I am trying to have a conversation with him. And the only conversation I want to have with him is to tell him that we need to bring all efforts together. Not to talk about Biafra, but to bring our political leaders, those of the South-South divide, for us to join hands together to demand restructuring of the Nigerian state. I live in England. England is made up of 4 different nations. 4 nations make up England. Each of these nations are independent of each other, but yet they are dependent on each other. Their system runs well. Each of the nations have their own local police. Each of the counties have their own local police. They have their independent economies. Some of us think that Nigeria needs to be restructured, and we need to start running a true system, maybe a confederal state, where every region or every state, as it were, will take control of their destiny. Because right now, there are those, particularly the northern oligarchs, who want to perpetually keep Nigeria under this political quagmire, under this economic wabure, under this whole topsy-turvy for their own benefit. I speak about these political oligarchs. Unfortunately, they do not represent the entire northern region. Because even as we speak, the people who are hard hit the most are the northerners, the ordinary northern people, the ordinary Hausa people. They are the most hard hit. The people, 40 farmers that were killed in Bauchi, they are not from Edo State, they are not from Delta State, they are not from East. And so what I speak to is for Nigerians at all levels, without the political class, for us to begin to negotiate how we come together to fight our common enemy, the oppressors. The oppressors of Nigerian people today are the politicians in Nigeria, are the people working with Muhammadu Buhari, are the service chiefs, These are the real oppressors of the Nigerian people today. And if we are waiting for change to come from top downward, it is not coming. And that is why, in my last broadcast on Matters Arising, I did say that we are going to start our own movement from the South-South, from the ordinary South Southerners. As I speak with you, we are still, interacting with people. We are still, of course, sampling opinions of people, bringing people aboard. By the grace, I thought that this weekend we may be able to jumpstart that process. But however, the negotiation is still ongoing. You understand what I'm saying? Now, because we must start very well. We are still negotiating with people. Those of the South-South divide and those who are from the South who equally can join, the bandwagon. The whole idea is that we do not want to rely on those in the political class anymore. We want to start a movement that will be all-encompassing, all-embracing, but that will be engendered by us, the ordinary people. Because we have waited far too long. We have waited far too long for those in the political class, but whatever happens is that when they get there, Oshomole was a man who was fighting, or rather who was saying to be fighting for the people when he was the leader of Labour. But when Oshomole became a governor, and he became the national chairman of APC, we saw a tyrant. We saw one who was willing to turn his eyes away from the truth. We saw one who was able to declare to Nigerians to say, if you move from other political parties and come to APC, your sins will be forgiven. And on that note, one of the most corrupt, allegedly corrupt politicians in Nigeria, Akpabio, switched from PDP and entered APC, and his sins was forgiven. Nobody's talking about how Akpabio as governor defrauded his state today. He's in APC and he's shielded. He's been made the chairman of the NDDC. From corruption to corruption. Now, it is not just APC. This same applies to all of the political parties, particularly the two major political parties. Unless and until these political parties begin to serve the interests of Nigerians, my people, we are calling. We are calling. I am hoping that our interactions with some people like us will be able to finish, and probably in the course of the coming weekend or the next, no matter how long it takes, we will start that discourse. Because what we have right now, at some point, when your ship begins to sink and you find that the captain has lost control, everybody becomes a captain. Everybody comes to the table to see how we can rescue each other. What we have right now, my people, this is going to be the worst Christmas we have ever had in the history of Nigeria. It will be the worst Christmas, not because Nigerian people are not good people, but it will be the worst Christmas because Nigerian people, have endured the tyranny of bad leadership. Because the Nigerian people have consistently endured the tyranny of wickedness by the political class. And this is why we are saying we must rise at this time. We must move at this time. We must galvanize ourselves at this time to say we are no longer waiting for the political class to show us direction, but we want to galvanize ourselves. We want to emancipate ourselves and, of course, begin to negotiate what will happen to the future of Nigeria, because Nigeria today is no longer sustainable. The failure and the failings of the Nigerian state today is one that was not engendered by the people. It is one that is being orchestrated deliberately by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to suppress and oppress Nigerians, to ensure that it keeps Nigerians order. And we are saying, we of the South-South divide can no longer take this. We have a nation once. We did have a nation. We had a nation once, Nigeria, a promising nation. I do remember, When I remember my Nigeria. Aye, aye, water run away me eyes. Oh, aye. I remember the first Prime Minister of Nigeria, Tafawa Balewa. He paid a state visit to the United States under the then JFK, John F. Kennedy, who was then President of the United States of America. The Nigerian Prime Minister was received like a god from Africa. Americans through the streets. People lay down waving at the arrival of the African president. Nigeria was Nigeria. Treated with respect, dignity, honor, placed on equal pedestal with other nations. Even at that time, we still complained that Nigeria could be better. And we saw the leadership of Tafawa Balewa, the man with the golden voice, provided leadership that was respected all across Africa and across the world. America stood still for the Prime Minister of the Nigerian state at the time. What happened? That was Nigeria, a state that was envied by all. Everybody wanted to be friends with Nigeria at the time. And for our forefathers who lived then, they actually thought that Nigeria was going to grow from good to better. But when you compare then till now, 50-something years ago, you look back and all you can say is, when I remember Tafawa Balewa, aye, aye, water run away me eyes. Oh. When I remember my Nigeria, aye, aye, water run away me eyes. Oh. Of the truth, this was a nation. It's a nation that is blessed. Today, everybody is come to speak to division because the center can no longer hold. Today, everybody is feeling the brunt and the pain of bad leadership over the years, presently crystallized by this administration because the center can no longer hold. But yet, when you look at this country on the very flip side, when you look at it from the hills of Kogi State down through the Niger Delta and you move up to the west and of course down to the north, diversity in culture, beautiful people, this ought to be our strength. This ought to be our beacon of grace. With all the blessings that God has endowed us with, from the oil wells of the Niger Delta down to the pyramid of granite in the north, down to the palm production in the east and the rubber plantations of the west, where have this all gone? But we came to centralize everything around the oil of the Niger Delta. We came to become selfish, to become greedy, to become wicked. We came. The Fulanis came into where they live right now in Nigeria many years ago. It was not the original place. You came. Nigeria was amalgamated. You were all taken in. Like, okay, let us go together. But some of you have begun to believe that the leadership of Nigeria is your birthright. But even when that is not a problem, people can aspire. You have contributed to leading Nigeria into this doom that we have today. You have set the example. Others have come and they've taken after your footsteps. And today, things are being crystallized in the most despicable, the most dangerous manner. We had a country once, a country called Nigeria. This country did live. Time was when the people of this country were happy, irrespective of what was. But today, that happiness is gone. It's eluding everybody. Even when you are sponsoring all the billions, you are a politician. In what way can you tell the world that you are actually enjoying your money? You are still in poverty. One day you die. All the money, where will it go? Look at Abba Kyari, with all the power, with all the affluence, with everything. Where is he today? 6 feet beneath. The same thing is going to happen to all of you. All of you. Everybody in this world. Everybody in Nigeria. Why don't you use your wisdom? Use that resources instead of embezzling it. Make it useful to the people who need it the most. Go to the northern Nigeria. Look at Amajiris. These are children, some of whom have the potentials to be great sportsmen. Some of whom have the potentials to become president and governors and leaders and senators. Look at the downtrodden in the south. Look at everywhere. Everywhere. Right here in the UK. For months, children did not go to school because of the lockdown. Well, when they lifted the lockdown, even where coronavirus is ravaging, the Prime Minister said every child must be in school. Today, if your child does not go to school and you have no good reasons, you will be fined. It is universal basic education. Basic, universal. They don't get paid put from primary to secondary school. Everybody's compulsory. So you go on. From there, you go decide your fate. You are from that you get choice. What is happening in our own country? Why do we have more than 50% of our children not going to school? Why do we have so many of them as dropouts? Some of them have never gone to school at all. The only reason is because those in the political class, they want to ensure that when they die and leave, their children will take over from them. But my people of the South People's Movement, please, I am calling on you. We are negotiating right now. We're interacting with people. Very soon, we're going to start that movement. Because the way it is right now, like I always say, it has become a matter of to your to Israel. It therefore means that we need to pick the reins from wherever it is. We cannot hope on these people anymore. I appeal to you, if you want to kill into this agenda, it's not an agenda. We're not planning to do anything, but we want to come together. Even the Bible says, come, let us reason together. Let us reason together. If the people we are given the power to provide leadership for us are treating us like this, then the onus lies on us as a people to come together for us to reason together as a people. And that is what this call is about. That is what this meeting is about. That is what this discourse is about. And because we know the complexities of the entire Nigerian state, we say we are calling on the Southerners, particularly those in the diaspora. Let us start the agenda from now. Let us start the emancipation from now. Let us start galvanizing ourselves from now. Let us start the discourse, the dialogue, the debate from now. So that it may come to that point where we'll be able to decide who leads us and who doesn't lead us. With a clear mandate that this is what we want. But when we talk of restructuring, the ordinary man in the street cannot give us restructuring. We expect the political class to set the agenda. But since they are not setting the agenda, we need to come together and start raising our own, baptizing our own into the agenda of this national discourse. So that now, as they are planning for 2023, we will equally plan alongside to project our own. So by the time they get there, we know that we have a clear-cut agenda why they are there. So that let us hope that in the near future, Nigeria will get our restructuring, but it will come from those that have come through our ranks and file. So they there's more reason today for us to start this movement. So the South-South movement that I'm talking about right now, we are still, interacting with people, discussing with people, trying to find a framework for us to start this development. We cannot live like this continuously. Today we are alive, privileged to be alive. Today this is happening in our own very eyes. Let us see what we do, what our contributions can be toward the development of our states, of our nation. That by the time we get to that point of our national discourse, we can then decide how we want the terms of agreement to be like. I trust and I believe from listening to his the interview of Chief Kanu with Dele Momodu. I trust and I believe that if Nigeria chooses to become a better state, the Biafra agenda will ease out. Nigeria will become more beautiful, with respect given to whom respect is due, with everybody having their own space to be who they want to be. I think we should explore that. And that is why I particularly want to have a conversation with Kanu. Please, if you are watching and you have access to Kanu, I've written here, you understand what I'm saying now? Please, let's have a conversation. I'm willing to have that conversation with him, so that we from the South-South level can marry our agenda with every other group, and let us say, man, look, we will know we're not fighting to succeed, to divide Nigeria, because if we get it right in Nigeria, this is potentially the most beautiful, the richest, and the most powerful country in the world. And that's why I said Nigeria is in coma. All we can do right now is to put everything together to wake her up from the coma, so that this country can begin to take a place, of pride in the scheme of things. How can we say we are citizens of a country that do not have clear-cut foreign policy? We don't. Everybody has got some sort of foreign policy. People live by their foreign policies. People are respected in the scheme of things by nations based on the foreign policies they hold. But where's Nigeria? Where? I remember those days in the time of Tafawa Balewa, in the time of the great leaders of Nigerian state. Even though we had military, junta takeover at some point in time, we still had a foreign policy that says that Africa is the centerpiece of Nigeria's foreign policy, and we live by that. In the 70s, when Israel came to test an atomic weapon on the Sahara Desert, the Nigerian nation stood for Africa and almost broke diplomatic relations with Israel. That was a time when Nigeria was respected. Gradually, with the greed of the political class, the greed of the military men, the family of Obasanjos, when I call them family, these military families, when they began to exchange the power of the matter of leadership of the Nigerian state, they began to set for us a course of corruption, of destruction, of this, of that. And by the time in the late 70s, when they now brought in Shagari, it was like we've never seen before. It started, and the politicians became even worse than the military. And today, some animals who were in uniform yesterday and now they are now in civilian clothing. They have not changed their skin. They have not. And that is why today they still raise their hairs to say that they are setting the right agenda for Nigeria when a pound sterling is changing for 650 naira. Woe betide all of you. Woe betide all of you. My people, I am pained. If you are not, you do not know what the time is. And that is why I'm speaking, for you to understand that the time we are in right now is that we can no longer stand aloof, irrespective of where you are. We cannot afford to stand aloof. We must take the bull by the horn. You may not be there as a leader. You probably can be there as one who is clapping and waving and raising the flag for the leaders to move on. My people, there is a space for all of us to do something. And so let us come together, that time and again, let us decide how our country should be like. NSAS has come to show us some examples, to say to us that some things are possible. When ordinary people come together to make things possible. Some things are possible. So this movement is a movement of the ordinary people, particularly engendered from those in the diaspora. The reason why I'm calling very much on those in the diaspora is because in the time when we were being oppressed by the colonialists, it took the exposure of our police who enlisted in the World War to go out and come back and understand that the whites equally die. That orientation began to change. And Africans began to change strongly after freedom. Because they now knew, oh, that these people, they are equally flesh and blood. For those of us in the diaspora, some of us have been here for donkey years. We've seen how much oppressed in this part of the world. We know how this part of the world is. Let us bring those ideas and agenda together in collaboration with the ordinary masses in Nigeria. Let us begin to chase that, start that movement from now. We may start as 10, as 15, as 20, it doesn't matter. But let's keep on pushing. Probably in the next 1 to 2 years, the entire Southern state would have been together, understanding that we are no longer taking directions on how our future will be from those in the political class, but from amongst ourselves. This is the movement. This is the talk. And we are willing to walk the walk. So I want to appeal to you, please stay tuned to us. By the grace of God, by the time we finish with our consultations, with everybody we are consulting with, hopefully the next 1 week or 2, as the case may be, we'll call a meeting where all of us will come out. And of course, all of us will begin to set the agenda straight. And I tell you, the major agenda is that we want to build a structure of orientation and reorientation of the Nigerian ordinary people. All the time we are in Nigeria, what we should demand for ourselves and how we should go about it. Whatever course of action we decide from that point, we carry it forward. So my people, I came out because looking at the numbers coming out from Nigerian states, I am afraid for tomorrow. Nigeria right now is like coronavirus economically. Nigeria right now is like coronavirus security-wise. Nigeria right now is like coronavirus psychologically and otherwise. And so, my people, we cannot wait. We must find a vaccine for this Nigeria so that we cure the Nigeria and lead the Nigeria into that national discourse, to renegotiate our Nigerianness, to renegotiate our terms of togetherness, to renegotiate. And I'm glad I want to salute the courage of the South governors on our behalf to have told the federal government that we want restructuring. It's the right step in the right direction. We stand by it. We hold this very strongly and firmly, and we await the response of the Nigerian state. And I want to say to the South governors that there has to be a timeline. We have made the demands. Let us make the timeline very loud and clear. And from the way things are, one of the appeals I'm going to make to the South governors is this, which is why I want us to have this our assembly, the South People's Assembly from the diaspora. We will wait when the timeline elapses and we don't hear from Buhari and his people. Let us begin to practice our own federalism, as it were. Delta State, when the time elapses, close all crude oil pipes going to the north or going anywhere else outside of Delta State. Port Harcourt, Rivers, do same. Cross River, do same. Create economic independence by yourself. Because we cannot afford to have Zamfara mine their gold independently. And we have South crude oil, a general matter for all of us. And I want to encourage the Southern governors, the South governors. If you people don't know what you want, I want to tell you what you need for us. Right now, they say they're not going to fix the refineries. No problem. I don't see any reason why you people cannot start investing into modular refineries all across Niger Delta. We have the crude oil there. Do the modular refineries. Let us have 2 in Edo State. Let us have 3 in Delta State. Let us have 5 in River State. Let us begin to refine our crude oil. And begin to make market for our people. So that we don't know that the debate of corruption will no longer be querying anybody who's serving in the federal government. We will not come and be asking you directly, how are you spending the money that belongs to the Niger Delta? But that is not the debate for now. And for you Niger Delta people, as ministers, as whatever, state at the federal level, that are selling us out, no problem, we're going to continue. But we are starting to look at you, to monitor you. This is serious. Nigerians, wherever you are across the world, please share this broadcast. Let's take this seriously. Let us let the world know that we can engender change. Today, as I speak to you, I am glad that the British Parliament, they are discussing the Nigerian state with respect to the high-handedness, the wickedness of the political class in Nigeria, to have gone out and ordered the military to kill Nigerians. They are discussing and debating possible sanctions for the Nigerian state. This is a good development. Now, I tell you what they are debating and what they are discussing was brought about by the movement of Nigerian people in the United Kingdom. I am glad and proudly so that I am one of those who signed the signatories that went to the parliament of the British Parliament to say enough is enough. And one of the things we are demanding, that we are still pushing for, is that the UK should no longer be a safe haven for any Nigerian politician. The UK should not be a place for medical tourism for any Nigerian politician. When they are sick, they come to the UK to come and seek refuge, to come and take treatment. They should go and put our hospitals in order and be taking their treatment in Nigeria. Because the British Prime Minister had coronavirus. He was treated right in the United Kingdom. He didn't have to go to US or anywhere else. Donald Trump had coronavirus. He was treated in the US. Nigerian government should put our hospitals right so that they'll be taking their treatment in Nigeria and not be flying up and down, wasting our resources because of medical tourism. All of this has to stop. And this is why I'm out. This is why we are saying that unless and until we, the ordinary people of Nigeria, come together to engender, to pursue and chase this change, we cannot get it. It will not come from the top downwards. It will happen from down upwards. That is the word of President Barack Obama. In Nigeria, it is making all the sense, and I agree with that. And that is why I'm saying that give me the next 1 week or 2 weeks when I finish my interactions with people, we flag off, and I hope that you'll be on board. My people, I want to thank you. Thank you for joining. Please share the broadcast. May God bless you for your time that you have taken out to be with us. The show must go on. The show continues. We are not relenting. Please do not relent. My name is Comrade. It is a Comrade show. And so once again, for my friends and my people of Edo State, I want to thank you all for your support, for the time you take out to be with us like this. I particularly want to thank the governor of Edo State for the much he's doing. We are monitoring him, we are watching him, and I can assure you that whenever we feel that this government is not doing what is right, we are going to speak out. There's no doubt about it. I support the governor of Edo State, but I equally know that he's not a perfect person, okay, and all of that. And this is why I will continue to encourage Edo people. Find what you can do, because right now, it is not easy for our people. It's not. Pardon me, I know that this broadcast is a national broadcast for me to speak from Benin. Meaning, right now, our people are suffering. They are suffering. I have people I support in Nigeria. How can you say 100,000 naira? It is next to nothing. Next to nothing. Why? Because they have devalued our currency with their very bad policies. You are borrowing money, you are having a budget, and you are going to borrow to service the budget. You are spending billions on a monthly basis to service what you have borrowed. Am I someone paying you when? But we are spending billions already to service debt, and we are borrowing more debt. Now we are borrowing from everywhere. We are not even borrowing from China. Abba, waiting now. What did we do? What have we done? Buhari made a speech when he took over from the second term. He said, now that we have been elected, Nigerians will know the difference. Yes, Mr. President, we are seeing the difference. We are seeing the difference. Mr. President, we are seeing the difference. And your difference is not good at all for Nigerians. Your difference is killing Nigerians. More Nigerians are dying of starvation. More Nigerians are dying of hunger. More children are malnourished for hunger because of your policies. And that is the difference. More Nigerians are dying in the hands of Boko Haram, in the hands of terrorists. And you are there. What is a 24/7 power supply that a nation cannot give to our people? What is in it? Why is it so difficult for all these 30 years? Why? My people, the ordinary Nigerian people, the difficulty in it is nothing other than corruption. People want to ensure that they take what belongs to the people and siphon everything to themselves, and keep the people right there in darkness. Thank God for Governor Obaseki. Oshomo Power Plant is already doing a lot of wonders. I want to encourage you, Your Excellency, Governor Obaseki. You are making a lot of difference in Edo State. We appreciate you. I want to encourage you, whatever you can do, whatever amount of money you can rescue from this present budget that you gave to the State Assembly, I appeal to you. I appeal to you. The other phases of the Oshomo Power Plant, please embark on them so that more areas in Edo State will be lighted by the power plant. Because with light being stable and available, Edo people are industrious. People can begin to put their wisdom, their experience, their training into good use and provide employment for themselves. Light can do all that. And Your Excellency, Governor Obaseki, I want to appeal to you. Another aspect of the Nigerian, of Edo State we want you to concentrate on. Personally, I'm advising this. Please, let us have a state database. Let us register all Edo people. Let us provide identity card for all Edo people as indigenous or as residents. Let us know who and who is in Edo State. Let us know who and who is outside of Edo State. Let us have the addresses for those who have committed crime. Let us profile them and put it against their records. This will help us solve criminal crimes. It will help us solve crimes. It will help us plan better for our economy. And it will give us a sense of pride that irrespective of what is happening at the larger Nigerian states, Edo State has its head at home. Your Excellency, some of these are possible. Some of these are possible for almost next to nothing. To have a state database is almost next to nothing. If you can do this, let us capture everybody from their local government to local government. Let people be registered. So that nobody's in limbo. When there's crime in any area, in any neighborhood, we are able to look at that neighborhood and look at people with history of crime and start the investigation from those people. Nigeria has kept us like this. But you have come as an organized person. Please organize Edo State in this sense. So that subsequently other administrations will take over, take after you. And Edo State probably in the next 10, 15, 20 years will become the envy of the world. We can't do it even within this, this circle of nonsense that is across every part of Nigeria. So, my people, on a last note, I want to appeal to everybody. I want to thank my Edo people. I want to reassure you that the street lights project that we promised to embark on, that project right now is the planning is near conclusion. The members of what's it called? My team, the volunteers of the Comrade show, they are working assiduously in Nigeria, in Edo State. Of course, they have identified some places like hotspots, some areas around the Upper Sakmomba, Ogida, some other areas and all of that, and of course they have reached an arrangement with a certain company that is going to help to provide and install the street lights. They are solar power street lights and all of that. And so hopefully in the course of this week, we're going to be talking about it. One of the reasons why we have not, well, I will give more details when the time comes and all of that. That from us is going to be an initiative that we want to support, and we are going to create the indulgence of for those who are willing to equally support the project, so that we can strategically look at areas. Okay, this area is a hotspot. This place we need 5, street lights, with about 100 years apart, according to how they, it was reported to me, which we call it be Latin a good expense, and of course it's not expensive. So I think that it's one thing that's where community too can actually key into, as it were, and all of that. So we'll be putting everything in place to ensure that transparency embraces it. You understand what I'm saying now, and all of that. So the committee is working to see that all of these things are in place. And by the grace of God, in the course of this week that we are entering, or at most next week, not later than first week of December, we tend to start that process. And I want to appeal to everybody to, stay close to us and all that. Some people have already inboxed me, telling me that they are interested in that project and all that. And I equally want to encourage Edo people. I'm glad, and I've said this previously. There's an Edo person who called me from one village in Edo State and was saying that I should tell the governor to provide street lights for their village. I told him, I'm not going to tell the governor. Look at the people in your village who live abroad, walk around them, galvanize them. You can provide street light for your village. You know, so what is the street light can you provide for a village? And I'm glad that, some days later, he comes and say, yes, he's been able to get a number of, his people, some of whom are his brothers and all of that, some other families and all of that. And as a matter of fact, they are doing that. As a matter of fact, there's another brother, from Edo South. They are provided 2 boreholes for their village, to be enjoyed by a number of communities. And so these are things that we can do to support ourselves and of course support the government. The government will not be able to do everything because with the bastardization that's taking place in our states, even if this government is there for 20 years, it won't be able to touch everything. So we are going to look at those areas where government may not have immediate plans for. You understand what I'm saying now? Some areas around Umelu, in Umelu quarters in Upper Sakmomba has been identified. A link between Upper Sakmomba and Savior. You understand what I'm saying? So we want to look at that area and see probably for a pilot project, probably 5, 6, 7 street lights. I don't know, but they are having a meeting today, as a matter of fact, to look at some of these things. And of course, they will let us know. And of course, by the time everything is set, we flag off very professionally. Not one just jump. So from this platform, by the grace of God, we're going to be looking at things that are, by the grace of God, will be of interest and development to our communities across. You understand what I'm saying? And see how we can, push for some of these things to have to be improved on for the benefit of everybody. Because right now, the security situation in Edo State, by the grace of God, thank God the government is on top of it with all that he has been doing. And, we are hoping that in other areas that we can key into the project, we will be doing our bits as well. So that's the way the matter is. So I thank you very much for staying with me. May God bless you all, and may God bless Edo State. May God bless the people of Edo State. Ultimately, may God bless Nigerians. Have a blessed day. Bye for now.
Make Comrade Show way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know.